Okay, good morning. It's Friday morning, 6:30. I've been up a little while looking at videos about Henry Nowak. It's interesting to see all the non-whites trying to pretend that they felt so devastated about what happened and how the police reacted and did what they did, etc. Everyone's focused on the police, and very little focus is on the non-whites that did the murder and how we've been systematically, worse than systematically, white erased by non-whites and migrants of various kinds who have been attacking the naked owners of the lands upon which these things are being done. In Great Britain, that is that boy, that young man, the 18-year-old young adult who's just come into, started to come into life, probably irresponsibly, being out at, nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. But having said that, a non-white has taken a knife to him, and everybody's focusing on the police and not on getting rid of unmatched migrants that are killing our people and white erasing us. So how do you justify having non-whites speak? They're not qualified. They're not going to stick up for our people. They don't really care about white well-being for us. They're redirecting the conversation just like everyone else is doing. Everyone who's publicised so far is focusing on the police, and they are accomplice to manslaughter for them, because they didn't mean to have their actions result in the death. But you can see in the video that he was going through death throes, and they said maybe he's going to vomit. How can he vomit when he's being stabbed and he said it and you denied it? Okay, so that was extremely negligent. But over all of this, what's going to be happening, and you can see it happening in the media right now, is that they are completely missing that a non-white killed a white, and that this has been going on for decades. And various migrants, it's not just non-white ones, but various migrants that are not of British, Irish type heritage, such as Italians, Greeks, and various other kinds, all the way down to the non-white types, have been vilifying us as a people for decades upon decades, trying to say that the English are so bad and all of this. And so now we've got non-whites, back in 2020, slitting the throats of white young men in the city of Melbourne, and non-whites in hospitals, and non-Australian, for example, here, poisoning us by forced medical procedures in hospitals and enslaving us into a foreign debt slavery that we don't want. Pretending that it's good for our mental health, which mental health doesn't exist. It's psychological health. They've just covered it up with mental, just for the sake of, because mental, when you think of mens rea, okay, I'll explain it this way in law. When you think of mens rea, you know that someone is of the mind to do something or not. So you test whether they wanted to do that or not, whether it was deliberate. So you can see the difference between the mens rea in manslaughter to the mens rea in murder in this situation. You understand the difference? The mens rea is the intent and the knowledge of what it was and all of that sort of thing. So in some part, the police were not accomplice to murder, but did participate in manslaughter because of the mens rea that they were in. They were in a position where most will say they should have known. I'm trying to pick my words because everyone is deliberately lining you up so that you look at what the police have done. The police are peacekeepers. Okay, they are peacekeepers. They are not what you think they are. Okay, and so they've been instructed in the honor of how they are. They have been instructed on how to behave with the groups that they are entrusted with the protection of. Now, so the problem that you face is, sorry, my language, I'm very tired. I fasted for a couple of days, and I make a lot of mistakes when I'm this sort of tired. The problem is that all the peoples on the land are protected by peacekeepers because you are under a foreign occupying force. You are under a debt slavery through your currency, and you are being controlled by foreign interests. Those foreign interests are warring with you on your own land by importing unmatched migration to white erase you. They are not there to fulfill numbers and help you along and build your homes and all of this. It's very, very clear. They've been making you homeless for decades because they got involved in the foreign administration over your country through the banking system. I'm speaking slowly for those of you in the back row who are not listening and who are probably too dumb to understand. I don't know how many times people have to say this. The facts are the facts, okay? You are under a foreign administration. You are prisoners of war. You are being held and administered under the rules of engagement in the rules of usufruct because you are prisoners of war until you snap out of it and return to being subjects of the crown. Your lineages are very, very clear. So everybody who thinks, all the white man who thinks they're all united in all of this, you need to return to who you are. You need to stop using the debt slavery currencies. You need to return to who you are in your respective area. Our 54 countries are occupied, just like Palestine is occupied. So for Kingdom of Australia, okay, what this means is the Aborigine is being used to undermine your sovereignty as A.N.Z at your very shrine, at the very centre of your Commonwealth of Australia. The very, very centre is the Stone of Remembrance in the Shrine of Remembrance in Melbourne. It overlooks the city. The road leads into New South Wales and to the rest of the country. You need to wake up. Participating in politics is participating in a foreign administration, a foreign military administrator that you do not vote for. You do not vote for. So when you go to court in the High Court and say, we would like an injunction to protect us so that we can commit hate crimes for a couple of months, and then when it gets to the High Court, we can do whatever, whatever it happens in the High Court. That is not going to wash. I don't know how many times, the guy who represents the guys going in for that reason. So many topics to talk about. The guy who represented the White Australia Party in the High Court a day or two ago is a politician first. So he was sworn to secrecy about what the administrator is and all of that. So the White Australia policy is never going to get the information from him that they require in order to address the issue they think they're addressing, but they're not. Because what's going to happen is the High Court, just like they just did, is going to see all the mistakes in the information and is going to judge accordingly. Okay? What they're going to judge you as is citizens of that foreign administrator that want to join in with the administrator, and you're going to have to go by the rules of that administrator. And unfortunately, what they haven't told you is by doing so, if you commit crimes under the Hague and Geneva Conventions, the United Nations Conventions, you can be taken into the courts and addressed by subjects of the Crown. Okay, so here that crown is the Australian Imperial Crown. That crown was, is how do I say this? Lifted up by the people who are the subjects of that crown. And so, in going to the High Court without the crown, and with a lawyer that is a sworn politician, you are not acting as a subject of the Australian Imperial Crown. So therefore, you go under the rules of the citizenship in the nation known as Australia. And the administration of that citizenship is called Commonwealth of Australia. They did that to hide the Kingdom of Australia. The Commonwealth of Australia as a lowercase term is the general people and the land and everything around and all of that sort of thing. All the things that we join together in ownership and running. So what they've done is the capital C Commonwealth is a name, proper noun, is administering your Commonwealth basically into oblivion through debt slavery, because you're not using your gold and silver and commodities and services. You're using a debt slavery currency, which is a foreign owned currency. It's not our currency because it's not listed in the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900 Imperial, and I can say section 115 for an example. And it is also not listed in the Currency Act 1965. What you are using is a debt currency owned by a private bank through the RBA, which is a government-owned bank, so to speak, loaning from that external body. And those are IMF points that they have purchased at the price over your head as a people, into the generations. They're going to keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. And you are going to keep paying and paying and paying. And so if we turn back to the Henry Nowak situation, you're paying and paying and paying with the lives of your white children. I hope that is a little bit clearer, but I don't know if anyone is going to bother listening and to actually return to your heritage, return to your dominion, your kingdom. Not under Charles. He's not the king. Charles is not the king. The throne of London was abdicated and vacated. So you need to allocate yourselves in the correct lineage or come under the crown of the Australian kingdom. It really is up to you. It does cover our 54 countries, but it does it in such a way that you will have to know the information and do it in your own lineage and say, right, well, we are the children of the World War I and World War II veterans. I mean, you've got cenotaphs throughout England. There's one in London. It was desecrated. You heard, oh my God. Nigel Farage gave you a clue in his video when he mentioned the cenotaph. But did anyone look and listen? He gave you a clue. He knows. You do not need to have a blind fury, a white fury, all of that. You need to return to your own sovereignty. And that way you get afforded protection at international law because you announce that you are part of an occupied country. That is why, at the moment, as citizens in the UK, instead of subjects of the crown, the imperial crown of Great Britain and Ireland, you are recognised as citizens foreign to the crown, and so you don't matter as much because you're too stupid to become subjects again. And you've got all these very interesting commentaries where people are saying, oh, there's another fellow, I'll do a video about that in a few minutes and send it off the next day or whatever. But you've got these wisdom bearers and people are missing the point entirely. One of them even says we were all subjects of the British Crown, and all these citizens in these different separate countries were coming over, and we didn't recognise the difference between subjects. But racially we realised that we were being inundated, basically. I'm making it into my words. And then we realised we had an issue with what I'll say is non-whites versus whites, and that's what's happening now too. It's still going. Because we're not identifying our lineage as subjects. You also need to make sure your lineage is within that. Saying anyone can be a subject is a little bit wrong, because the crown covers lineages, bloodlines. So you have to know who you are before you can sort of be properly involved. You can have subjects that are not related to you, but when you know that non-whites are not part of that promise, you come to realise that they really don't belong. I'm not being rude about it. It's not racism. Racism is an anti-white slur. It has no meaning. We knew that 50 years ago. And generation gets brainwashed into using it. And so you think you're doing this freedom thing, fighting back, getting your language back by saying, yeah, I'm a racist. No, you're not winning it back. You're just making yourself a villain in the anti-white narrative. That's all you're doing. So, you know, if you keep going that way, you can keep expecting, little doll, you can keep expecting more of pretty much the same and more of the same gaslighting by non-whites and whites alike, who are saying, oh, the police did that, yeah, the police, and trying to blame the peacekeepers. But at the end of the day, you have not returned to being a subject of your crown. You have not returned to your lineage. You do not love your own people. You hate your own people, and you preference non-whites over you, who are not in your lineage, who did not win your freedom to self-govern. And you are giving it away to those non-whites that are inundating you and that hate you and just want to kill you. They make up reasons to kill you. They make those reasons up. They are doing it because they're allowed to take from you, because you're a dumb citizen instead of a living, knowable subject. Okay, you're not announcing yourself as an occupied people, as an occupied country. So you're being put in with everybody else. When you do not put yourself in with everybody else and be a subject of the imperial crown, and here it is, the Australian imperial crown, you can come under that in any of our 54 countries. Nothing's stopping you except you. When you come under the crown, you change your position completely and you live the pure law. And you come under the protection of those peacekeepers. Okay, if you stop announcing that we are occupied, you will be inundated, and it makes no difference if we are white erased or not. It'll be the end, because those peoples coming in as citizens just like you, because you're claiming to be a citizen, if you recognize that you're a subject and bowed your knee to being a subject and stood in that, everything would change. Everything. But you have to all do it. A number of you have to all do it so that you can stand in groups of 2 and 3 so that the truth can be known. Me being by myself and nobody coming across the threshold is a massive problem, because I'm by myself. I can easily be taken down. And this is what happened to Henry Nowak. He was by himself. He was very easily taken down. Okay? You guys don't know what you're involved in when you comment on it. It's all over the news. It's all have a blind rage, hot white rage. No, just return to who you are. Everybody talks about the World War II, and nobody is talking about World War I and what we won as a people, and how it came about that we got shoved into a debt slavery. We didn't need to be there. We had our own gold and silver. We could have mined our own gold and silver and used that to pay our own debts. But instead, we got pushed into a foreign debt in London. I think it's a Bank of London or the Bank of England. So I don't know how to sort of make it any clearer than that. I've said it in different aspects, in different ways, in a simple language. I don't know what Stephen I knows. He's a lot more read. He's well read. He's also a man. He's got more capable in that area. And I'm not like Queen Victoria. She was really smart, she was astute, and she was very straight down the line. And I don't know, I've got to send out my mail today. I bought a car. I thought I bought a small car cover for my car, but it was too small. I didn't realise my car must be a medium. Anyway, I've got to take that back. So, yeah. So, the focus on the police is just going to cause more problems for our people, because it's diverting attention from the foreign occupants inundating us with foreign citizens and us not being subjects, and so being under the same rules. And I feel terrible. I feel terrible for the police. I mean, they go into a job believing they're doing everything for their community, and they are completely lied to, really, to some degree. But they know. I mean, they stand there. When I've told them the truth and they stand there, they just will not comment, because either way that they comment, they know that those are the facts. So I don't know. The administrator is not helping the homeless. The administrators dotted all over the country are handballing homelessness to private entities. And I experienced that in Queensland as well. So it's all over the place. They're non-government organisations. They use government means and funding, which is a loan upon our heads. So every time a homeless individual gets helped by a service, it inflicts further debt upon everybody, because it draws on the RBA notes, and so it draws debt on everybody. The way to freedom is to get rid of the AUD and use the gold and silver and commodities and commodities and services. So yeah, I think I've drained that topic now for this video anyway. I just wanted to try and make a little commentary and draw your mind a little bit away from that situation with Henry Nowak, instead of listening to the liars that are just blatantly out there in the public eye. And I hope my 72 people start to understand and comprehend that there are two totally separate ways of being here, and you can only be one or the other. You can't be both at the same time. And it's really difficult that I was aware of this a long time ago. I just didn't I didn't know really how to, sorry, I looked away. I didn't really know how to sort of manage it, and I didn't know what it was that I was doing that was different, but I just knew every time I did something wrong, I got reprimanded pretty quickly. And I've been thrust out of everything because I have no standing, so it's a good thing. Do we want standing? I have standing to some degree, but not in the same way. And so, yeah, it's a fascinating thing. It's a really fascinating thing. So, I don't know. I get to a stage where I'm wordless. And, yeah, so I've just got to go about my life. I got the silver yesterday, so that'll be paid in today. But the only reason I'm still giving these people silver, I mean, they're supporting criminals. I feel so angry I should just pay them in AUD and just let them have the fucking debt. But my conscience is that it is our duty to get that gold and silver away from nefarious people, and the way to do that is to get it to our people. Because it's already in existence, so it has to be dealt with, and it has to be given into our people so that we have custodianship over it and not some nefarious parties that don't give a shit about you. They tell you what's presentable on the internet. They tell you what's presentable, okay? They don't want you in gold and silver. They want you in debt slavery. I wrote an email to the Federation Press. And I said, I don't want to pay in with a card. Can you please provide another way for me to pay? I can pay by an account, like transfer, but I would prefer to pay by the order of our King in silver and gold, if possible. Can you please let me know so that I can buy this book? It's pretty urgent. I need the book for a High Court case. And I want to pay under the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900 Imperial Section 115 and the Currency Act. And so I haven't seen a reply yet. And so I get a feeling that they're just not answering, and so they're probably going to just leave it and not answer, because they probably know, holy shit, you know, yeah, whatever they think. Because most people sort of haven't looked into it, you know what I'm saying? They just haven't looked into it, and they just want things to run smoothly. Can you just pay with your card and don't worry about it? Can you just pay with debt slavery currencies and not worry about it? Can you just put my children into debt and their children's children into debt and their children's children into debt, so that I don't have to worry about this law thing and this little constitution thing? Because I'd rather my kids be stabbed in the street by foreign occupying citizenship people. So I don't really have any other way to say it this morning. I'll say it in different ways in different videos and try and give you the examples as we go along. But you cannot play in both worlds. You cannot be lukewarm. Okay, you have to be hot chocolate or iced chocolate. You have to be hot coffee or iced coffee. You can't be both at the same time. I think that's going to start being my mantra. You literally can't be the same at the same time. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. There is no theory about it. It is what it is. If you have not looked at your Constitution Act Act, Section 115 that I've quoted already, then you don't understand where you are right now. You are under foreign occupation. The same in England, the same in Ireland, the same in Scotland, the same in Canada, the same in America, the United States of America. They are pretending they became a republic. They're pretending that. But they went into a foreign administration. And they tell you that all the time. Under my administration, rah, 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 rah. They tell you every time they say it, and you don't get it. How can you not get it? They are not a republic. They are a foreign administrated, foreign occupied country being taken over by foreign interests. And you wonder why everything goes up in price and whatever else. You have to go to war to try and steal a bit more stuff, push more people into the debt slavery. What happens when they've got everyone in debt slavery? Then what? They run all the countries? They get to take everything? It's really crazy. Who are you in debt to? Who is your country in debt to? You only have to listen to who they bring up in these conversations. What are you distracted by all the time? Yeah, so I think that's it for this morning. I'll upload this one, I think. It's a really good one. Really casual, just woken up type of video. I'm sorry about my sort of blankness. I'm just, yeah. I ate some chips yesterday. I think they didn't taste good. Nothing tastes good anymore because I've gone very, very pure. Just mince beef and egg. So this fortnight I've got 5 packets of 500 grams of mince and a dozen eggs and 2 litres of milk. And for my treat I bought 5 Easter eggs. They still had some here. And a small tub of honey to go into the hot milk and water. And I bought water because I don't have running water here. Because I have a water leak in my caravan, so everything's turned off. But also their water's not. I don't drink anyone else's water except Puro or Aqua Pura. So, which is Bickford's. So, yeah, I just, yeah. Oops, my bin just fell down. Sorry about that. I've got a whole heap of stuff to do. I haven't been cleaning in my caravan as much as I usually would have because I was in extreme pain having slept outside. Now I'll just show you this. I just want to show you my little bit of knitting. I want to make a scarf with the flag embedded in it. So this is wool. I'll have different colours, but I've just started. I don't know if I'm just going to make one, but I want to make a jumper with it embedded in it as well, if I can figure out how to do all of that. So I need to locate red, white and blue and embed it into my knitting so that I can have a scarf that has it on there. I went around with my bandana with the flag on my forehead, basically on the top of my head, just in the front of the crown so that it can be seen. I just want people to be seeing and realizing we are a people, we are occupied, we know who we are, we know what we want, etc. And we shouldn't accept anything less. Okay? So, love your people. You know, do what's right, and please, of all things, please wake up. Please wake up. You are being led down the garden path on the internet. They're not telling you the reality. It's still a big TV show. Okay? All these people think, oh, I did all the research, I'm reading Mein Kampf now. Fucking hell. He never told you the reality. And, so Keir Starmer's not going to tell you the reality. Nigel Farage is not going to tell you the reality. That woman, the police, the head of the police in England, in London, in Southampton, not going to tell you the reality. I don't think why is a woman in that position anyway? It's a fucking military force. It should be a man. But having said that, also, she is leading you astray, or trying to, or maybe even inadvertently, psychologically, just too stupid. Because it is difficult to see through the bullshit. Because all of the bullshit is given to you as if it's reality. And the thing is, you don't hear what they're saying. You don't hear them saying, for some reason, your brain is just switched off. They're telling you, under my administration, he's the head of a military force, a foreign military force. That's why all these citizens from other places get to go in there. I'm an American citizen. I'm an Australian citizen. Well, you're an Australian citizen, but you're not a subject of the Australian Imperial Crown. All our subjects volunteered their lives, to protect this very country. They were not citizens. They were subjects. And you think it's just all this fucking, we want fucking voters' rights. No, we fucking don't. I don't want voters' rights. I haven't had to vote since 2020, because I wrote to them and I said, you guys don't represent me. I know what's going on. And they actually went silent and said nothing. Won't chase me for the money from previous years. I fucking woke up and realised, fucking why am I paying you when I just don't vote? If I don't vote and they ask me for $40, what? Hang on a minute. What for? What for? They just want money. It's just money. They want more debt slavery over us. That's forced slavery. You can't ask for money just because I didn't turn up and fucking write something on a piece of paper or tick a box or whatever. It's so stupid. And I'm a woman as well, so in the domain my household where I am is just me anyhow. Oh, actually, depends how you look at it. I guess the owner of the caravan park would be the one entitled to vote here. Because I'm not any land. I don't have any land in my own right. Because, nobody wanted to assist me to figure out how to do that. So it got used up on a foreign hotel, because all hotels are foreign. Because they're all under AUD, so they're all foreign. See, once you start thinking this way, it changes every single thing about how you live. So, I'm leaving it at that. Enjoy. I hope people listen. I waffle on, but I see so much talking on the internet. It's just all shit. It's all about the same stuff. And it's all just irrelevant. They just want to be on the internet. Look at me. Look at me. Sky News, look at me. BBC, look at me. Telegraph, look at me. Everyone's look at me, look at me. Asmongold doesn't know either. Got a huge following, but doesn't know. So it's teaching and talking to what they know, and so they all mix in the same no knowledge. Too stupid. Same with the Jake Monroe, although I love them. I like listening to Asmongold and I like listening to Jake Monroe, don't get me wrong, but they are completely deluded to what's going on, and if they realise, they'd be very powerful for our peoples, you know, in America and in, well, he's in Ireland, isn't he, Jake Monroe? Yeah, so in Ireland and in America, they would be very, very powerful if they woke up to this information. So I give it to you in a casual way. I don't know how to do much, and I keep saying that I should advance. I mean, everybody else is advancing, but I've got 72 people. Hopefully you're listening. I see that, you know, some posts get lots and lots of views, and some get just almost zero. Not many, maybe 5 views. And, you know, in honesty, 5 views is roughly 8%, which is reasonable. I want it to get to 10 or 12%, because that's your normal attrition rate, that's your normal percentage rate that should be, that denotes a success. And I don't advertise, I don't pay anything, but I give out a lot, which is problematic. Nobody's supporting me except for a small amount of welfare, so because I'm entitled to disablement at law, I'm supposed to get the same as the military, actually, but we don't live, I mean, they're not obeying the laws of The Hague. So as a disabled individual, I'm supposed to get the exact amount that a military personnel would get in their administration, and so they're not giving it to me. I don't know why. I only get at the moment 1,000-ish a fortnight, which is not what military personnel get. It's actually lower, and so the military gets paid that amount. They're supposed to pay disabled, veterans, elderly, so widowed and widower. They're all supposed, actually the veterans are meant to be paid a certain amount. The widows are meant to be paid a certain amount because they're two separate groups, and the invalid or disabled, we say invalid, okay, is supposed to get the same amount as the soldiers in the military. So whatever they get paid, I'm supposed to get as well at this stage because of my classification, because I'm part of the occupied people, not a citizen, part of an occupied people. And yes, you can take a pension, because that's what the disablement is. That's what the widow's pension is, and that's what the veteran's pension is. You are supposed to get a pension, okay, because of your position as subjects. However, when we have a sovereign, he stands in a position for us, and we are supposed to support him through our whatever I don't have anything to support him with, but I still do. And so you get the widow's mite. Remember the widow's mite that I talked about? So anyway, I'm going to go. I said I was going to go 10 minutes ago and I didn't go. 20 minutes ago. But yeah, I like talking apparently. Yeah, so just got inundated with all this nonsense, and I hope people start to listen and wake up. Far out. So this is my Scottish doll. I got her from the Celtic Fest in Warwick in Queensland. And I don't know what this doll represents, just a rag doll. Yeah, she's from a shop in Melbourne. Her name, they called her Matilda Butterscotch. So $70. So she's worth all the materials and everything and whatever. Does this open? She's getting old now, so yeah, I don't know. Australia, Allen Rose. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably made in China, but it's covered up by a sticker. Who knows? Yeah. So, I got her in Melbourne. So beautiful. They look like little people, you know, the reality. It's kind of cute, like a Jemima doll or something. Yeah, so, and that's our Poppy. It's Flanders Fields. And so, lest you forget,